Hi, my name is Andre King, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Matrix. What is the Matrix and how does it work? Well, the Matrix is basically a holographic prison created by these beings I like to call the Draconians. And these Draconians have created this system on the fourth dimension using their very, very advanced technologies. And that's the main reason why we can't physically see it, but they're there and they're, pretty much preying off our life force, which is that's what they love. They feed off our fear and anxiety, really all of our emotions, because there's a positive aspect to these draconians that they use to manipulate us. These draconians can also change shape. They can change into any shape they please. That's another way they deceive people. So all these religions that we talk about, like Christianity, Buddhism, every single religion is basically created by these beings called the Draconians in order to get worship out of people, because that's what they feed off of. And really, religion, science, just about everything, pretty much everything they have their hand in. And what they want to do is turn a natural order into like technology, like synthetic. So like they want to have us like completely slaves to where like we don't have any free will, that we don't think for ourselves, that we don't create for ourselves, to make this world pretty much just like theirs. And these draconians have also created multiple races, like the Greys. These Greys are really biological androids that they use in order to manipulate us also, because these are like their little like soldiers, if you like to call them that. And what they do is they do the surface level work for them, while at the very, very top, the draconians, they possess the elite, which is what they have, which they have this bloodline that they have in order to control humanity. Which the bloodline is these rich people, these really, 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 really rich people that a lot of people don't even know are actually still in control of this world. Because if you check the banking system, like the oil, all these big things that control our society, they all come from the same family. So what a lot of people don't even realize that, and they expect to know about the universe and want to wake up, but if you can't even understand the surface level of this matrix, then you're not in a good position to I don't want to say escape, but to transcend the system, because we have to transcend the system. If we do not transcend the system, we will be forced into a cycle of reincarnation, and you'll keep getting recycled back in here over and over again. But yeah, and another way you can probably like transcend it is through spiritual work, like working on your bones and your joints, because that's another thing. The system is also controlled by this planet called Saturn, which is in astrology, Saturn is fear and anxiety. That's one of the big things they use to control us. With Saturn is basically it's a modified planet where they have like a giant hexagon storm on the planet, and it emits low vibrational frequencies, and it hits the moon, which is hollowed out according to NASA. When Apollo 11 hit the moon, it rang like a bell, meaning it's hollow, and it emits these low vibrational frequencies. Bam! It hits the moon, and then it hits Earth like tenfold, and it amplifies those low vibrational frequencies. Now that makes it like much more difficult for people to cope with this reality. That's why it feels so hard. It feels so dense, so negative. So like That's why we, it's survival of the fittest. We have to fight each other all the time. We have to, like eat. We have to sleep. All the all that is mainly caused by this matrix system because it's still in our energy. So therefore, we need to pray off the natural order in order to keep our energy back up. And a lot of people don't even realize that they still caught up in their everyday lives. They still love the thrill of life, or you know even sex, anything, all these things that control you that you feel like you need in your life, you don't, because at the end of the day, those are really forms of control. Really, really, those are forms of possession. These are things that possess us on an everyday basis. These emotions, that we can't control. All this stuff is forms of possession. Like I said, even in astrology, the moon controls your emotions. It's your emotional state, and that's another reason why Saturn is emitting these frequencies specifically to the moon, because that's what the moon is designed to do. Yeah, if you're really into astrology, you will understand that. And there's another system rigged to Mars too. Mars and the moon, but I don't really know too much about that one. But according to astrology, there's two matrix systems. Because once I studied these planets, that's what I found out. And yeah, in order for us to ever, even have power, we have to literally raise our vibration to the fourth and fifth dimensions, because that's where they operate at, and that's the only way we will be able to, actually see the manipulation. And eventually, once we raise our vibration high enough, they will just like get scared and leave, because our energy will be so massive that it literally will it threatens their entire system, and they can't handle that. So yeah, and the reason I know a lot of this, I'm not just talking from like a book that I read or something like that. I'm just talking mainly from experience, because this is what I've learned over the course of my years. I've actually reached a certain vibrational state where I started to see them, and literally everyone's hooked up to the system. It's like a hive. It's like a hive mind, and everyone's hooked up to it. It's like they have us all in a trance and a daydream. And even the person you think you are now, your conscious self, it's not really you. It's mainly these draconians, these thoughts being transmitted inside of you. And even your actions, they control a lot of your actions. Like, I would say maybe 99% of the things we do it's not even us. Like, that small percentage is probably your true self, your higher self. Because if you didn't have that, you would literally be a complete zombie, a complete robot. But we all are, well, we all have that, that loophole to get out, you know. And yeah, because once you hit a certain vibration, you will see that the person you were was like, you will be like, what the hell was I doing? Like, who was that person before? And you will realize that, that it wasn't you, it was something else. And what that was these programs, these, also we have probes inside of us, but they cannot, they can't really be seen or detected, most of them, because they're on the fourth dimension. Like I said, some can be seen on the third dimension, but those are like just the little baby ones. But the main ones are, yeah, on the fourth, because that's what these technologies are from, the fourth dimension. And yeah, in order for you to get out the system, that's what you have to do. And all it takes is one person. It don't take a whole group of people. It don't take a lot of people. Like, once one person is about to escape the system, the whole system literally collapses. And you ascend to the next level. But as for like the other people who didn't do the work, they'll be forced back into like, I want to say another timeline or something like that, and they will be forced to keep doing it until they get it right, because this is all a challenge, and it's all created as a, basically as a training course, in order to um make us until really, really, in order to become infinite, in order to become these really like powerful beings, but a lot of people don't want to embrace that aspect of themselves. I mean, it is. I mean, at the end of the day, once you start like get on the bandwagon of the like the high vibrational frequencies that I'm talking about, you will see that um yeah, it's very it's kind of sometimes it's difficult because it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of power you're dealing with, and that kind of frightens people, and people kind of like like they want to stick to their daily routine. They miss that. That's the ego. The ego like like um wants that lifestyle. And the reason the ego has to go, that's the main reason ego has to go, is because it cannot handle that power. It's because it's too much, it's too massive. And yeah, it's a lonely route, and it's really powerful at the same time. But that's where we have to go. You have to become more yourself instead of becoming what you want people to think you are, or obeying society's the status quo. Like having manners and all this other crap. Like basically etiquette, proper etiquette, stuff like that. All that's been programmed into us. That's not how we were naturally born. That's not how really in the beginning, that's not how we were. We were like really heavenly, really godly beings, and we pretty much settled for this, like this low vibrational state. And as of right now, it's just we still going backwards. They get more and more power, because the more technology we using, the more all the synthetic stuff we using. People don't really, like communicate in person as much, and it's like it's just all going downhill. It's getting more and more difficult as like the years go by, and a lot of people thinking that like we're finally waking up and this and that. Is actually the exact opposite. Things are really getting more intense, and they really like amplifying it up. And the reason they're doing this is because they're getting ready for harvest time, and they're about to start harvesting people, and taking them to different realms and this and that. Because what the Matrix is it's designed to satisfy the ego. That's what it's really designed to do. It's not designed to serve your higher self. It's designed to serve the ego, which is the ego. Is basically the person you pretty much are now. It's designed to satisfy that aspect of you, but the higher self it's kind of like the subconscious. It's kind of like the universe. It's kind of like this godly aspect of you, but as of right, the ego cannot really comprehend that, because the ego is just has too many programs. Ego just a bunch of programs, tied into one. That's what the ego is. And yeah, we're gonna have to, get to that higher self, and if you want to properly transcend this system. And so, a lot of people are gonna be in for a rude awakening, because they're gonna keep getting coming back to Earth. You're not gonna, get a one-way ticket from Earth. Like, yeah, you might die, you might be temporarily in one of these realms, but eventually you're gonna have to come back to Earth, and you have to complete your complete that karma, because that's how it works. They have a whole system. Like, even if you die, bro, they still got you. They still have a whole system that'll recycle you back in here at will, and you can't escape that. Yeah, anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. And if you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.